AITA for not traveling to a different city to donate my egg to my sister? My sister, 34F, and I, 29F, have had a very difficult relationship. She looked down on me for a number of things and have always had a disparaging view on everything. That concerns me. However, that's only of little concern to me right now. She and her husband, 34M, have been trying to have a child for a few years and have trouble doing so. I've been empathetic of this very huge concern and I get it. It is hard. She's also done IVF and some other treatments but they've not worked out for them so far. So, to bypass that, they asked me to donate my egg to them, which I very readily agreed to do. However, it came with a caveat. They wanted me to come in a day. I live in a different city. I'd have to fly down and back, 6+ hours, and miss days of work. I told them I'm anyway coming to their city on the 7th of October for a couple of weeks for a family meet, and I can do it then. It'll also save me a bunch of money on airfare. They refused and said I should come within a couple of days to make it happen. While I understand they are in a rush, but why am I being expected to 1. Travel on my own and 2. Do it as per their convenience? My mother also pitched in here. She said I should be more understanding as they've been trying for years and must be in a lot of stress. I told my mother I understand and I've not really said no to it. I'm happy to do this, but they should either pay for my airfare or let me come when it is convenient for me. But now, things have turned into a whole thing and the entire family is calling me an AW for not going to their city to help them. So, am I an AH for not going? Edit 1. Thanks so much for your perspective, everyone. I really appreciate it. It has really made me dig more about how the procedure is done because I honestly had very little clue about all the things I'll be put through. I don't have any children of my own and don't plan to have one anytime soon. So I thought there would be no harm in doing so. As for the part about me going there without any prior preparation, they really just needed me to come so I can meet the doctor with them to see if it is viable. NTA, and that's not how IVF works anyway. You don't just show up and retrieve an egg. You meet with a reproductive endocrinologist and you have to start hormones. It's a lengthy process, not immediate, so it doesn't make sense you would just show up in a day. If you don't live near them, it seems like it would make more sense for you to find a doctor near you to do the steps up until egg retrieval. NTA. Do you realize there are serious risks to you? In order for the biggest chance of success with egg retrieval, they want to get as many as possible, so they try and get as many as they can with you injecting hormones for a few days at the right time of your cycle. You then risk ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome, which can make you incredibly sick and hospitalize you. You also have to be at the right stage in your cycle for them to get the eggs, and that might not be in the time that you are meant to be going over. It's not about your convenience and there's much more to it. Your sister isn't very nice to you and she acting very entitled with no thought of the risk to you. Also remember that if they are successful in carrying a baby, that technically you are the child's biological mother, even though your sister will be the birth mother. It's a lot to get round and most reputable IVF companies will require counseling so that both parties know what they are getting into. There are legal ramifications here depending on what country you are in. NTA. They forget you are doing them a favor, not the other way around. At this point I would tell them you decide not to donate an egg. Did you research how they retrieve the egg and what side effects it can have for you? Did they even offer to cover airfare and lost income? Be careful. They sound entitled. NTA. Remind them they want something from you and you are subjecting yourself to a medical procedure for them. So it will be on your terms and your terms only or not at all. While what you're proposing to do is very kind of. They're literally allowing you for your DNA. They're asking you to give them a baby. Not only do they need to pay for everything, flights, rental car, hotels, medical, procedures, etc., you need to make sure you have a clear contract so they can't either sue you for child support. It's your DNA. And can't drop the kid off on your doorstep later cause it's your egg. It's your kid. And on top of that, lost wages. You will be taking time off work. 3 days to a week or more. If there are complications, that also needs to be included. Think very, very, very carefully on this. It's a huge deal. Does a massive number on your body despite the short term. And can have huge consequences. You need a contract with them that outlines everything they are on the hook for. And clarifies that as only egg donation you're not to become their surrogate if it's found your sister cannot carry. That's a whole other can of worms. That they would still need to pay for everything for and still have a contract outlining what you are not willing to do. YTA if you don't protect yourself and demand compensation. There is a reason nearly all egg donation is anonymous. Like sperm donors. NTA. That's not how IVF and egg donation works. Like at all. How can your sister have no idea of how it actually works if this is what they want to do? They should really educate themselves first. Don't do this. You're NTA, but you would be to yourself if you went through with this. Egg retrieval is a huge, expensive and very risky process. That will require you to take a series of hormone drugs that dramatically increase your risk for certain cancers. To say nothing of the side effects of the actual retrieval. You don't have a good relationship with your sister to begin with. They're already balking at paying for your airfare or doing things on your timeline. They're not going to cover anything else, so you're going to be out of pocket for an expensive procedure. Out of pocket for anything that goes wrong, and if the first retrieval doesn't work, you better believe they'd be demanding you do the whole thing again for them. Wow. NTA. Woman who went through fertility struggles here. They are being beyond pushy and illogical. 1. Now maybe they have a doctor appointment set up on a certain day, then they pay for you to travel. Or they see if they can reschedule to when you plan to be in the area. 2. They need to not wait to figure things out and waste your time with a trip that may be premature. They need to go to the trouble to fully understand the process, including timelines and whether you really have to be in their city for any of it. Although it is their responsibility, I personally recommend you do some research of your own. I don't like the idea of relying on them for info when they are already showing poor thinking skills. 3. You may be able to do most or all of the process in your town. If there are expenses, they should foot the bill, not you, unless you offer. 4. As for the rest of the family, don't know if they just share in your sister's sense of desperation or if they tend to support her over you in general, but they are not the ones actually doing anything. Tell them all. If it's so damn important, then they can cover all the costs. Otherwise, they need to shut up about something they are not actually sacrificing any of their time or money for. 5. Last thought. You accepted pretty readily. It might be wise for you to give yourself a chance to get fully informed about the process and take some time to consider the impact on you. You may still be ready, but you may decide it's not for you. That is okay. Don't let anyone railroad you into a decision or any action before you are informed and ready. NTA. Are you absolutely sure that your sister would be someone who would be mentally and emotionally stable enough to be a good mother? Because there really isn't anything in your post that suggests that. And, as others have stated, egg donation isn't anything like what your sister thinks it is. Your sister sounds unstable enough right now that it may not be safe for you to be around her and her husband. Stay away. And don't be her egg donor. NTA, did they even offer to pay for the trip and your missed work days? They've been waiting for years, they can wait another month. NTA, you're doing them a favor. They can either respect your time or do without and keep trying on their own. It's not like this is a life or death matter, and quite frankly you're a bigger person than me for even considering helping your cruel sister. NTA. Something like this is huge. You're doing them an enormous favor and they should be treating you like the goddess you, quite frankly, are. It's a whole procedure that could be medically difficult for you. And you're doing it out of the goodness of your heart. I sympathize with your sister's plight. I'm her age and would dearly love a child too, but I would never expect anybody I might ask to help out to have to pay for anything. Newsflash. Donating eggs is a 23 months procedure. And is painful. And you are in pain after. I have had 13 IVFs and transfers. So trust me, I know what I am talking about. The one time I had mine done in Canada, they didn't provide anesthetic. Anesthetist is expensive. It was literally hell. Another. It would be your child, and your relationship with your sister isn't decent. She literally thinks that donating eggs is like donating blood. To say she is entitled is understatement. Don't do it with your sister. You will regret it. She isn't a person you want to see your kid to grow up. You would have to watch them grow, and your sister would be acting the same. Change your mind until it is not too late. I have used mine and donated eggs, and it is an ordeal. In US, egg donation is expensive and your sister needs to pay for it to understand what an amazing gift you were offering. Don't let your family bully you into it. Having eggs from the stranger isn't worse than having sister's eggs. NTA. They need to understand that you're doing them a favor and behave accordingly. It's not reasonable to expect you to be out of pocket and missing unnecessary days of work for this. NTA. Paying for your expenses while you do this incredibly generous favor to them is the least they could do, honestly. And as multiple people have said, it can't all just be done in a day. It's a process. You're probably going to have to meet with a doctor several times. They need to pay for your missed work days and your expenses while you do that. If you still want to do it. NTA. I dropped the offer. NTA. Mom and Cider are At minimum, they should pay for everything and make it happen in a way that causes the least discomfort to you. They expect you to pay our own tickets? At that point, you should cancel everything. They are Oz. JFC egg retrieval doesn't happen that quickly. The team would need to meet you and presumably do a bunch of tests on you before confirming you were suitable for the job. Then there will be a whole process of giving you hormones etc. to stimulate your egg production. And heaps of blood tests, and that's before you go in to get your eggs extracted. It's an invasive process and it takes a while and is not comfortable. Are you sure your sister is intending on egg retrieval and not surrogacy? As in have sex with her husband? NTA. And if you're going to do this massive favor to them, they should be paying for your airfares and accommodation etc. for the cycle where you hang around in the city of their IVF clinic and grow your eggs and donate them. NTA. The fact that they're pressuring you into this with only a couple of days' notice, when you won't have the support system of your family around like you would in October, is sending some huge red flags. Like others have said, this isn't how the process works at all. I hope it's just my jaded view of people, but my gut feeling to this is that something sinister is going on. Please don't go through with any of this and keep your distance.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.